That's not good. He needs to be showing both hands.
Oh, that truck is moving right now, as you can see. Yeah, that truck has just started moving. It looks like they're moving in right now, Lisa. Those guys who just came, that they got into the Bearcat, now they're moving forward. They're getting closer to that white vehicle that we've been mentioning. And right now I see rifles in hand.
Maybe we could take a 2-box. They're pushing the back of the vehicle. He's hanging out the side of it, so now we can see from live copter they've got SWAT on either the front and the back. You can see he's leaning out the left side of this vehicle. They've got their battering ram also out. Looks like maybe
they just moved K9s. There's more K9s. They just moved a K9 over here, and they've got a long pole. Excuse me, I don't know what that is used for, or what that's called exactly. So excuse me for that. But
oh, he fell out of the car.
As we're noticing,
he fell out of the car. He just fell out of the car. He just fell out of the car. He's on the ground. Both hands are on the ground. He just fell out. He just was leaning out a lot, and then he just fell out. His head is on the ground.
It looks like a K9 is on the side right now. They've just gotten the K9 kind of pointed in the direction of the suspect.
Well, we just want to warn you.
Looks like they got the K9 on the ground ready to move in if they need to.
Yeah, and if you have kids in the house, you may want to move them out of the room so they don't see this, because it could end up, you know, when the K9s go in, it's not violent. So here they are. They're approaching him. It looks like this is going to come to a peaceful end. They have his hands behind his back now. Looks like they're putting the handcuffs on him, and looks like they're searching the rest of the vehicle. And looks like this will come to a peaceful end. You could see his face on the ground. His mouth was open, and there you can see right now. Live pictures from Live Copter 3.
Yep, we just got a message that he's detained from the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. The suspect is now detained.
Yep, and it looks like they have handcuffs on him. It looks like they will try to move him. I don't see them bringing out a stretcher or anything like that. He may have some injuries. It's hard to tell. The car looks pretty banged up. The airbags went off, and you can see the amount of officers that were used to bring this suspect, who was wanted for threats with a gun and assault against a peace officer, had warrants for his arrest. Now he's on his right side. Looks like they're speaking to him. He doesn't, I mean, it's hard to tell if he's even conscious. It's really hard to tell from this vantage point, but they are doing a thorough search. They believe that this person was armed, so they took great precaution, and it looks like this pursuit went on for at least 40 to 45 minutes, because we got word from witnesses that they saw this start before noon, and other witnesses that, you know, almost had a head-on collision with this driver and this suspect on Foothills Road. That was about 12:20. Someone else saw the pursuit about 12:04. Cecil talked to a man whose car was actually hit by this guy, and he said the airbags were already off, and that was just before it came to an end. So they do have the, see, yeah, they're putting the battering ram away. They're putting it back on top of the vehicle. They didn't need to use that. Looks like they're probably reading him his rights. It's hard to tell. It doesn't look like he's conscious, to be honest. It does not look like he is very coherent, I should say. They did check the rest of the car, so it doesn't look like there would be anybody else inside that vehicle. Looks like they're going to back up that other SWAT vehicle, because they've got two, one in the front, one in the back right now. But the standoff is finally coming to an end after the suspect had barricaded himself after this pursuit came to an end in Citrus Heights, right along Tupelo and Antelope Road, in between a residential neighborhood.
Hey, Lisa, we've got Amar Gandhi right here.
All right.
Can we talk to you real quick?
Are you live?
We're live right now. Can we talk to you? One moment. So first, very active scene right now. We just got an update that the suspect is detained. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so right now, obviously, this ended the way we absolutely hoped for, a peaceful resolution. He surrendered. Right now, I'm going to kind of get a little more background information on what led up to it. But as of right now, I can tell you, again, he was wanted for threats with a gun, some criminal threats, and then there was an assault on a peace officer charge. So finding out a little bit more details on what led up to it. But again, great ending right now. Community safe. He's in custody, and no one's worse for the wear.
It appears that he was injured, maybe in a crash or anything. Have you heard anything about that, or why were the airbags deployed? Can you tell us anything about what led, from the start of the pursuit to now, what happened?
Minimal details that I have on hand this second. I just know that during the pursuit, he did appear to collide into one or two other vehicles. I don't know if those vehicles were occupied, but that's some information I'll get from them right now at the scene.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is Amar Gandhi with Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. You can see on the left they're putting a neck brace on this male suspect who, as you heard, was wanted for threats with a gun and assault against a peace officer. And if you were just joining us on KCRA 3, we've been on My 58 covering this breaking news since the noon hour of this pursuit that ended with a standoff, and this suspect barricaded inside that white vehicle. You can see medical crews are on the scene. So not only did they put that, they checked his pulse, and then they put on that neck brace. I'm waiting to see if they're going to pull out a backboard. So that would be the next thing that they would do, is put him on a backboard to get him on some sort of a gurney to take him away, maybe take him in an ambulance. He doesn't seem to be very responsive. His hands are in handcuffs, as you can see right now. And they just, those two medical responders just showed up with that backpack. So now we're looking at it from the other vantage point. We've got a lot of different vantage points for you from the ground. We also have live views from Live Copter 3, and that really gives you the best view. This took quite some time for this to come to an end. So wonder, putting a neck brace on is pretty standard operating procedure. I just only know this from EMT training that I took as a former lifeguard. Putting a neck brace on is really one of the basic things you do. It doesn't necessarily mean he had neck injuries or anything like that, but that is for just in case there is a neck injury. You want to stabilize the neck first before you put him on a backboard. And so it looks like they're just waving other people over, so they may be bringing over a stretcher to put him on in a backboard or that sort of thing. He really hasn't moved since he kind of flopped, fell out of the driver's side, and that took quite some time. We've been watching this live from Live Copter 3 from quite a while now, since about 12:40, and it took a while for him to even open the door, lift his left hand up. Finally, he showed his right hand, and then that went on for a while, and then finally he just kind of flopped out of it. We weren't showing it live, but I could see it on another monitor, so I saw it happen live, and he kind of flopped out of the car and landed on the pavement. It wasn't until he had been there for a minute or so that then they moved in, put him into handcuffs, that you saw here live on KCRA 3 and My 58. So I did see them check his pulse, then they put the neck brace on, and now I can't really see what else they're doing to give you an idea. But we do know the neck brace is on, and it's not like they're administering CPR or anything like that. They may be checking his pulse again. It's hard to tell from this vantage point as we're flying above this area. So we know that at least one vehicle, because we talked to the man whose car was hit by this suspect, and that was right before the pursuit came to an end, and he said the airbags were deployed. So we don't know if those airbags were deployed before or because he hit that person's vehicle. We do know that from another witness that the vehicle already looked pretty banged up. You can see it's just a two-seater white vehicle, and it's hard to tell what they're doing as they're either trying to talk to him, check his breathing, check his pulse. We have not seen his body move at all. The most movement we saw is when he kind of flopped out of the side of the car. So he was able to do that. His head was kind of hanging out for a while. He looked kind of like, didn't really look with it. Looked like he was going in and out of consciousness, but that's just what I saw from very far away. His head was just really hanging over, like as if you didn't have control of your head, sort of thing. So we don't know much. Of course, the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department will give us all the information as soon as they get it, but at least no one else was injured. We know that much. There wasn't a shooting. The guns were drawn and ready to go, but we know that they did not have to do that in this situation. We know they had that drone sitting on the roof of the hood of the car for a while. They had another drone flying around. And that medical person is just kind of staying kneeled over. You could see them talking to the police officers, the SWAT officers there. So I don't know what they're doing. They could be looking for a pulse or something like that. So in the meantime, if you're just joining us, this driver is now the suspect now in custody after this chase that, from witness accounts and from what we've learned from the sheriff's department, was at least 45 minutes long. And from witness accounts, we believe it started somewhere in the Roseville area, ended in Citrus Heights off Antelope Road.